Hello students. In lecture 6 we will discuss three unification processes. First, unification process of Germany. Second, unification process of Italy. And third, the strange case of making of UK, that is United Kingdom of Great Britain. First is unification process of Germany. In 1848, the middle class Germans tried to unite the different areas of German Confederation into a nation state ruled by an elected parliament. This liberal initiative to the nation building was, however, repressed by the combined forces of monarchy and the military, supported by large landowners called Junkers. Junkers were basically the large farmers of Prussia. Second point, or the second stage of unification process of Germany is, after this, Prussia took on the leadership of the movement for national unification. Its chief minister, Otto von Bismarck. So here Bismarck is an important person who has played an important role in unifying Germany. Otto von Bismarck was the chief minister of Prussia. He is also known as architect of unification process of Germany. He carried out with his army and fought 3 wars over 7 years. And in these 3 wars, he defeated Austria, Denmark, and France continuously for 7 years. And this victory ended in unification process of Germany. Fourth point to this unification process can be mentioned as, in January 1871, the Prussian King William I was proclaimed as the German Emperor in a ceremony held at Versailles. On 18 January 1871, the assembly, comprising of the princely states of German, representatives of army, proclaimed new German Empire headed by Kaiser William I, who was the king of Prussia. And fifth point, the new German state placed a strong emphasis on modernizing the currency, banking, judiciary system in Germany, that is courts, and Prussian system often became a model for rest of the Germany. So this was the unification process of Germany. Started from 1848 and ended in 1871. And William Kaiser I was the king of United Germany. The main unification process was carried out by Otto von Bismarck. These are key points for unification process of Germany. Next is unification process of Italy. Before the unification of Italy, it was divided into 7 states, or the 7 regional areas. Then during middle of 19th century, the Sardinia Piedmont, one region which was ruled by Victor Emmanuel II, was the only Italian princely house. Rest others were ruled by outsiders, as north was held by Austrian Habsburg, center was under the rule of Pope, and north was under the rule of Bourbon kings of Spain. Second point to this is, during 1830, Giuseppe Mazzini is was the Italian revolutionary. He started his revolutions in 1830. So Giuseppe Mazzini started a combined program for unification of Italy with the members of Young Italy, the secret society made by him. But in 1831 and later in 1841, all revolutions launched by Giuseppe Mazzini failed. Then, this unification process, the responsibility of unification of Italy, was given to Victor Emmanuel II. Third point in this we can mention, Sardinia Piedmont Chief Minister Cavour then led the movement to unify the Italian regions. Through a tactful diplomatic alliance with France, Cavour succeeded in defeating the Austrian forces in 1859. Fourth point in this you can mention, in 1860, one more freedom fighter called Giuseppe Garibaldi joined with Cavour. With the support of local farmers, they succeeded in defeating the Spanish armies, and the kingdoms of two Sicilies were also conquered. And finally, in 1861, Victor Emmanuel II was proclaimed the Emperor of United Italy. So this was all about the Italian unification. I repeat, it was divided into 7 states. Only Sardinia Piedmont was ruled by Italian princely house under Victor Emmanuel II. Sardinia Piedmont Chief Minister Cavour, Camillo di Cavour, led the unification process, and he drove out the Austrian forces in 1859 with the help of French armies. In 1860, one more freedom fighter, that is Giuseppe Garibaldi, joined him and defeated the Spanish armies, and the kingdoms of two Sicilies were also combined. And finally, in 1861, Italy was united and Victor Emmanuel II was proclaimed as the Emperor of United Italy. Third is strange case of Britain. Why do we call it strange? It is strange that the largest kingdom in the world came to be forged without any war, without any revolution, and no bloodshed. It was through a tactful diplomatic relations and so on. So the points to making of strange case, or the strange case of Britain, or making of Britain. Number 1, in Britain the formation of the nation state was not the result of a sudden upheaval or a revolution. It was the result of a long drawn process. There was no British nation prior to the 18th century. They were simply known as the small isles, the group of islands, as English, Wales, Scottish, and Irish. Then in 1688, with a long conflict with these isles, English Parliament seized power of all these kingdoms and it became Britain. Then in 1707, Act of Union was passed, and as per this Act of Union, Scotland, the larger geographical area, combined with England, and England came to be known as United Kingdom of Great Britain. Next point, Ireland had also a similar story. In Ireland, Wolfe the Irish revolutionary, launched many revolutions, but Ireland has internal conflict between Catholics and Protestants, and revolutions failed. In 1798, all revolutions failed. And finally, in 1801, Ireland was also joined with United Kingdom of Great Britain. And finally, the new British nation came to be forged through the propagation of a dominant English culture. English culture, dominant English culture. The symbols of new British nation, the British flag, the Union Jack, the national anthem, God Save Our Noble King, and the English language were actively promoted, and older nations survived only as subordinate members. So, this was the strange case of Britain. So, thank you very much. I hope you will enjoy listening, watching this video, and keep on watching, keep on listening. Thanks a lot.